Welcome to the Startup Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, the host of the show, where we talk about raising funding for your startup and the time it takes to have an espresso. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot of startup funding and investing. Startup advisors can help a startup establish the business and find the right track to grow. There are informal advisors who help the business without any compensation, and there are formal advisors who help the business but require compensation. Advisors seeking compensation look for a small piece of equity. Most advisors are not paid cash in the very early stages as there's no revenue to draw from. Advisors typically receive 0.2% to 1% of a share of equity. The range covers advisors on the low end who give advice. Those who provide strategic value, such as finding investors or C-level hires, are in the mid-range, and experts who provide domain knowledge are on the high end. The startup undergoes many changes in the early days, so an advisor is useful for 2 years in most cases. The equity is vested over 2 years with a 3-month cliff in case the advisor doesn't work out. There are standard advisor agreements to paper the engagement. Any agreement involving equity should be documented and incorporated into the cap table. Spend time with the advisor before committing to a long-term relationship to make sure that there's a good fit. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start listening to today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.